Here comes Alonso. Oh.
Yeah. So it was not a car failure. Oh, that all looks a bit familiar to me, to be honest. And here he goes. So initially he's looking to the right, switches sides, and Gutierrez has braked much earlier than he expected or lifted.
That McLaren. We won't get that camera back.
The whole is on the front and pulling away, and now you don't have to pass. It's a joke, really.
Most of the time, it's just listen to you for your driver of the day and agree.
Yeah.
And he just overcooked it going into the slowest corner on the track. His teammate locked up. That's what happened.
Hard.
Sainz locked up.
Yeah.
Verstappen hit Sainz.
Yeah, there we go. Oh. That's been sort of coming all afternoon, hasn't it? But Verstappen lost out now.
His foot down and gets onto the track again. And he's trying to get onto the track in a bit of a hurry. That's Sergio Perez coming through. And Nico Hülkenberg, very close indeed. Verstappen and Hülkenberg down into turn one. What about Max Verstappen? Can he make it into turn one ahead of Felipe Massa? Yes, he can. Verstappen now gets past the Williams. Going on behind him, I think, now with Max Verstappen. Grosjean has made the move. Verstappen has made the move. Swoops past as if Bottas didn't even know he was there. We can have a look at Max Verstappen and Danny Kvyat. Big lock-up from Kvyat. Down the back straight they go. He's got DRS as Verstappen as well. Into turn 11. Verstappen's ahead of Felipe Massa. Trying to avoid Sebastian Vettel, that they actually managed to tangle. We'll see the replay in a moment as Verstappen goes down at the inside. Bit of debris on the left-hand side there. Through, can't get past, but here comes young Max Verstappen on Fernando Alonso. And Nico Hülkenberg, meanwhile, under pressure from Max Verstappen. And the youngster putting enough pressure there on Hülkenberg for the German to lock up his brakes. Verstappen will think, yeah, cheers. Valtteri Bottas is looking to his left saying, you're coming, I know you're coming, so I'm going to go to the right, I'm going to cut you off. And now he's gone a bit too late, and that was a bit too easy. He might... Toro Rosso of Max Verstappen going very slowly indeed.
I have something with the engine.
Max Verstappen. He's out of this Russian Grand Prix.
Lights out, away we go. Rosberg versus Hamilton, pretty even from the two of them. Hamilton will try and shut the door, he's in front. Then it's the two Red Bulls. Ricciardo chased by Verstappen and Vettel chasing as well. Ricciardo comes to the inside and round the outside Rosberg. Rosberg goes round the outside of Hamilton to take the lead of the Grand Prix, and the battle going on. Vettel gets alongside Verstappen.
Yeah, no, but he got past him into turn one, and Verstappen's gone back round the outside of him, and three, and Hamilton on the grass!
Hamilton, it's Rosberg, they're both off, both Mercedes are off on the first lap of the Spanish Grand Prix. Look at Hamilton, he can't believe it, and Daniel Ricciardo leads in the Red Bull. Second is Max Verstappen.
So Vettel gets around the outside of Max Verstappen, but Verstappen, wise to where the next opportunity was come, where he got a nice clean run through turn two, and as Vettel got wide, that is a fantastic pass from Max Verstappen.
This is incredible. Verstappen in his first ever race for the Red Bull team, only his second ever season of Formula One, is heading for victory. He's got through the crucial turn 10 there.
Just a tiny lock-up, the first mistake I've seen all afternoon.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that Max Verstappen's going to win this race, but he is. Max Verstappen is going to win the Spanish Grand Prix. He comes through the last corner. The youngest ever winner in Formula One. The first Dutch driver to win in Formula One. Max Verstappen wins in Spain at 18 years old.
Max Verstappen, you are a race winner. Fantastic. What a great debut.
Yes! Yes!
Unbelievable, Max. Unbelievable.
The first time the Dutch national anthem has played out at a Grand Prix. For the first time in his career, Max Verstappen gets to spray the champagne.
I knew when he was young, I was working, you know, to arrive in Formula One.
but then that he's winning a race in his second year, something unbelievable.
Into this race, and we look now at Max Verstappen on Felipe Nasser. Verstappen getting past Kevin Magnussen a few moments ago. Back again, Verstappen is now going to cause a bit of confusion there.
And there's Bottas releasing him, as exactly like I said, he's had to release Verstappen.
As we watch Verstappen on Jenson Button coming at a rate of knots, and Button did well, I think, just to stay out of the way on that one. And quite a nasty bang. He's gone at quite a horrible angle into the barriers there, and he is out. It's a second crash of the weekend.
Crashed.
As we watch on board, locked up Verstappen, and then just nowhere to go. It's lights out, and away we go, and the two Mercedes get him on well, but look at Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel, what a move going into turn one, leads the Canadian Grand Prix. Rosberg gets pushed wide by Hamilton, and that's a really poor start for Nico Rosberg. Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo are going to come past him. Verstappen ahead of Ricciardo. But tell you what, let's have a look at this. Rosberg, where's he going to go? Great defensive work from Verstappen there. He's pushed Rosberg wide. Rosberg had to go round the outside. I think Verstappen positioned his car superbly well there, but how can he position his car to defend now down the main straight? He's going to have to go around the outside again, will Nico Rosberg, but as he does that, he runs out of room. Verstappen slams the door shut on him.
Richard Rosberg with the DRS open. Is he going to choose the inside or the outside? Verstappen's going to cover.
Well, Verstappen is pushing him round to the outside, and this time around under braking, Nico Rosberg makes a mistake. The championship leader makes a mistake. Can he keep the engine running?
I think Kimi would much rather have just watching Verstappen up the inside of the Sauber, trying to make grounds and try to get on the back of the group.
Max Verstappen got past Marcus Ericsson on the last lap, and this time he's gone past Pascal Wehrlein. Oh, look at this. This is Max Verstappen on Felipe Massa. Down into turn one. Verstappen has put himself into 9th place here because Verstappen, like his teammate Ricciardo, has passed Hülkenberg going into turn one, and it's lights out and away we go. Hamilton gets away well, as does Raikkonen. Jenson Button covers him off. Hamilton leads then into turn one. Down the inside, Raikkonen a bit too far behind Jenson Button, who's in second place, but Raikkonen moves up into third. There's Valtteri Bottas challenging Sebastian Vettel, past Sebastian Vettel. Now having a look at the Red Bull on the inside down to turn two as Hamilton leads, and behind absolute chaos. Rosberg nearly gets Sebastian Vettel all over his rear end, but Vettel jamming on the brakes manages to avoid him.
Lewis Hamilton had a dream about the start of this race. He would have wanted that McLaren behind him in dry conditions. Oh, so close there between Vettel and the Williams of Bottas.
But Sebastian Vettel comes away and now challenges Max Verstappen going into turn 5. Jenson Button already forming a bit of a buffer for his former teammate Lewis Hamilton. Kimi Raikkonen can't quite get past him. There's Nico Rosberg. Rosberg is having a go on the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, gets past him, and Daniel Ricciardo as well. So Rosberg now up into 6th place after losing a spot. And now, with Rosberg out of the way, Hülkenberg under pressure from Verstappen. Into turn 3 we go. Verstappen goes round the outside, moves ahead of the Force India. Hülkenberg's dropped 2 places in the space of 2 corners.
Didn't fight that one too hard. Probably when he receives that, he'll wish he'd have been a bit more aggressive and gone right back up the inside, because it's cost him 2 places, as you point out, Crofty.
I think he's going to be swallowed up by Max Verstappen here as well. 292 Grand Prix. Jenson Button, Max Verstappen. Verstappen tries to go down the inside of the Haas, succeeds in going down the inside of the Haas, and Verstappen moves himself up into 5th place. We're on board now with the championship leader, and he's got the pace to get level, has he, with Max Verstappen. He's going to go and try round the outside and take the lead of this Austrian Grand Prix. He goes a little bit wide. Verstappen fights mightily on a set of tyres that have been on his car for way too long for the driver's comfort, but then Rosberg comes back at him again, goes on to the marbles. Can he get his braking right into turn 3? Yes, he can. Nico Rosberg now leads the Austrian Grand Prix from Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton has got to overtake the Red Bull and his teammate to try and win this race now. And because the back marker rather interfered there with Max Verstappen by just getting out of the way, that's the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton getting past. Lewis Hamilton wheel to wheel with Nico Rosberg in towards turn 2. His teammates got the inside line. They've touched again. Hamilton runs wide, and is he going to come onto the track and touch his teammate? He's now got damage. Nico Rosberg to his front wing. Bits of carbon fibre are showering the track, and Lewis Hamilton does manage to overtake his teammates. Verstappen and Raikkonen are now closing in on Nico Rosberg. Hamilton leads this race. Rosberg might not even end up on the podium. He's been passed by the Red Bull and the Ferrari as well. Hamilton takes the Austrian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen just holds off Kimi Raikkonen and limping home. On lap 5 of the British Grand Prix, we can get away racing for real. Verstappen's going to have a go on the inside, down to the Vale chicane, can't get past Rosberg. The top 4 all stay out on the wet tyres.
So currently same pace as Hamilton, everybody else around a second slower.
Look how Rosberg's struggling there. We don't often see a pass on this part of the track. Round at Chapel, there he goes. Max Verstappen moves into second place. What a move that was on Nico Rosberg.
Outrageous.
Rosberg's coming back at him though. Through Stowe they go. Verstappen somehow manages to stay ahead, and the fans absolutely loving that.
Rosberg got out of shape in the middle, and that's taking a lot of risks, but he knew he was up against a man who wants to win the World Championship. He just wants to win this race.
And I say, for looking really comfortable indeed in very tricky conditions, and he proves me absolutely spot on there.
And he lost 2.4 seconds.
I think we're quite like Esteban Gutierrez to get out of the way and help him. Oh dear, because he just got a bit twitchy there going into the Vale chicane. DRS for Nico Rosberg. Max Verstappen has to cover him off. Straight we go once again. Nico Rosberg in 8th gear, 200 miles an hour. Can he have a go on Verstappen? Same outcome as the previous laps, because DRS is gaining and gaining and gaining ever nearer towards Verstappen. He looked like he was maybe thinking about going around the outside.
That's moving twice, that is not on.
Copy that message, Nico.
When he says moving twice, that's change of direction in the braking zone. He's a lot closer, isn't he, this time? It feels he's a lot closer. Goes around the outside, Nico Rosberg, wheel to wheel, going through Stowe. Verstappen stays ahead, though you can see how much closer Rosberg is again. This must be so frustrating for the championship leader. Rosberg once again can't find a way past him.
I'm struggling quite a bit with the rear.
Here goes Rosberg again, this time round the outside at Stowe goes Nico Rosberg, and where he was passed by Verstappen before coming out through Maggots and into Beckett's at Chapel, this time round Stowe, he's got his own back and he's got his second place back.
Okay, Max, that is P3, mate. 1.3 seconds behind Rosberg, and he will be investigated after the race. Another excellent drive, mate.
Back out on the track, Ricciardo, and he has been overtaken by Sebastian Vettel. He might get overtaken here by Kimi Raikkonen, as well as into the first corner they go. Raikkonen, who hasn't stopped yet, of course, is now ahead of Max Verstappen. And Verstappen, with much better grip, goes around the outside at turn 2. Oh, this is brilliant stuff. Raikkonen on the inside, Verstappen has to yield. Raikkonen defended absolutely superbly there against Max Verstappen, who's going to give it everything, and I wonder, has he got enough to give? Into turn 4 now. Just a little bit too far behind. So we've had Raikkonen defending against Verstappen, and now we have Verstappen who's going to have to defend against Raikkonen, because as you can see, the Finn has very much caught up with the young Dutchman here. Great exit from Raikkonen, and then just lost a little bit further down the road, but still might have a go into turn 2 here. He's going to have to go all the way around the outside. Verstappen doing what Raikkonen did, positioning the Red Bull very nicely indeed. Well, right, DRS now for Kimi Raikkonen. Seems a bit closer as they make the run down towards turn 1 to Verstappen. Under braking, can he have a go down the inside? No, a little bit too far behind. Now could come his best chance.
Max leaving the door open there a bit.
So which way is the door going to swing? Raikkonen tries, oh, he's hit him! Kimi Raikkonen, switching from left to right and left again, has taken out a bit of his front wing. Did he go one change of direction too much, Verstappen there?
I didn't see it again. I was watching Raikkonen, actually. Sorry,
mate.
Here we go, and we'll find out. So
goes there and then goes there.
No.
He moved right and then back to left when I was going there.
And he goes wide there, Verstappen. He's left the door open once again as he's struggling for grip on his tyres. Now down into turn 2 where Raikkonen lost that left-hand side, the end plate of his front wing, and he might be struggling a bit under braking as well.
Kimi is going out of the track limits.
Max is certainly, when he goes to defend, it's aggressive and it's bordering on being too late.
Here comes Raikkonen once again into turn 2. He's looking all the way on the left-hand side for where Kimi Raikkonen is there, Max Verstappen. I think Raikkonen was looking to try and outfox him a bit.
You're in the top 10, you can score that point.
Oh, Kimi Raikkonen goes around the outside and he's going to have to go way, way wide because he locked up as well. He was just trying, well, looking at the improbable, trying the impossible with Max Verstappen.
Verstappen parks in the middle and then makes a very late decision on which way he's going to go.
Let's have a little look at it again. As Grosjean, by the way, gets a black and white flag for track limits.
I thought he was going to lose the other side of his front wing and fence there.
Just to balance it up a bit.
I don't think Max did anything wrong there.
Because I moved first, so don't move after that. I have nothing that I could do once I have decided to go inside, and he turns after that in front of me.
And that's what we were talking about, is Max waits for Kimi to make his decision and then reacts to that.
And as it is for the final podium spots, it's going to be Red Bull holding on, hanging on, and eventually winning out as Max Verstappen crosses the line ahead of Kimi Raikkonen to once again frustrate the Finn. Lights out and away we go. It's a great start for Fernando Alonso and also Lewis Hamilton, who goes into the first corner in the lead of the two Red Bulls, scrapping away as well. Verstappen is ahead of Ricciardo, is ahead of Rosberg, who's had an appalling start really. Can he now get past Ricciardo going into turn 2? A lock up from Valtteri Bottas as he steams down the inside, manages to keep that Williams under control.
I'm really also struggling with the rear tyres now.
We're only on lap 8 of the race. Verstappen's now stuck behind the McLaren, but for how much longer? He's picking up a good slipstream there. Button in the week criticising Verstappen for some of his defensive driving. There's no criticism to be had there as the Red Bull just cruises past Jenson Button.
So pushing hard now, push hard now.
He's going to have a go under braking. Verstappen moves across to try and cover it. Rosberg is not going to give up this fight. Verstappen has to go off the track. It's elbows getting out, it's muscles being flexed. Has Rosberg got ahead of Max Verstappen? He has.
This is from a long way back. I don't think Max would have been expecting that. He started to cover it off, but he'd missed the moment. Rosberg almost missed the corner.
He pushed me off the track.
And I'll ask, did he push him off the track? Was it a bit too aggressive? Or did Verstappen kind of leave him no option?
For me, Rosberg had track position there and was entitled to do that. We'll see. We'll find out what the stewards think. Next trip. So 5-second time penalty for Rosberg then, forcing another driver off the track.
Keep ahead of the two Red Bulls, and here comes Daniel Ricciardo now, and Verstappen wasn't in a position to defend and maybe didn't look like he wanted to defend too much. Ricciardo's been catching him lap after lap after lap.
You can't really see any of that in your mirror in case you wonder. You can't see it, but it's a good reminder to race control.
Alonso does move out of the way, but a point in the track where really it hasn't affected him too much, but he has though locked up going into turn 2. Red Bull will finish the first part of their season with contented, happy smiles too. A second and a third here. They have trumped Ferrari and moved ahead of the prancing horse. And it's lights out and away we go, pretty even. Start out in front, but Kimi Raikkonen gets ahead of Max Verstappen, as does Sebastian Vettel. Verstappen goes down the inside on Raikkonen, and it's a chain reaction. Sebastian Vettel stranded in the middle of the track, and he has gone from third down to about plumb last as the rest of the field file past La Source and down on towards Eau Rouge. Rosberg well out in front, going way over the corner. There was Max Verstappen in the Red Bull.
They just turned into me.
I think if he'd got a puncture now, it would have shown up at the bottom of the hill. This all looks completely normal. He didn't take too much curb, but the back end gets away. He turns into the slide and does a tank slapper on him. And I'm afraid there's only one thing going to happen after that. You're going straight to the scene of the accident.
Here we are on board with Kimi Räikkönen, gaining all the time. Verstappen moves over, and then they touch as Verstappen a bit later on the brakes. Yes, he is, and he pushes Kimi Räikkönen wide and through the chicane.
Do I have to let the Red Bull pass because his clearance, his only interest is pushing me off the circuit completely?
Verstappen's ahead of Räikkönen. Now what's going to happen this time, I wonder, because it seems that the Ferrari's got the straight line speed. He's also got DRS as well. Which way is he going to go? Oh, and Verstappen kind of invited Räikkönen to go down the inside and then cut him off.
Hey, come on, this is ridiculous now. He's just fucking turning when I'm going full speed on the right.
Copy, ridiculous.
Let's watch the
Let's have a
front
look
row.
at the start. Hulkenberg got away well. Alonso, Fiat in the background. Hulkenberg got shunted to one side by Massa. Hamilton by that stage already down in 5th.
And there's a car in the middle of the pack, barely.
That's Gutierrez nearly stalled it, I think. There.
Barely moving at all. That's why he ended up towards the back. He's now past Button, up into 18th as Gutierrez. And you can see the white Williams there of Massa, and he got away with that one. I can so often see a car up on two wheels, 3 of them going through the little shortcut.
Just to report, Max Verstappen is up into the points now and ahead of Nico Hulkenberg into 10th place. You can see him there, now behind Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso giving Max Verstappen the invitation. That's why he was no match for the pace of the Red Bull down the straight, because he'd gone wide through Parabolica. Battle for 7th continues. Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen. Well, we've just seen what Ricciardo can do into the first chicane. Let's see what the young Dutchman's got up his sleeve now, because the Force India ahead, but not by much. The margin's about half a second as they cross the line. Can Verstappen stamp on the brakes late? Is he going to have a go? Just a little bit further behind, possibly, and elects to play it safe and go for it again.
Hold options, he may come towards us.
Fernando Alonso not amused. Verstappen playing it safe because he thought he might have a go at the second chicane, and he did. And it's lights out and away we go. It's a very good start for Nico Rosberg and for Kimi Räikkönen. There's Nico Hülkenberg into the wall. He's got tagged and Hülkenberg out of the race. Rosberg leads into the first corner. Ricciardo after him, Hamilton then Räikkönen on the inside. Max Verstappen has lost about 4 or 5 places right at the start.
Max Verstappen had a horrible start, as you pointed out, and he's very lucky he didn't collect all of that.
Yeah, look, there's Verstappen and Hülkenberg right in front of the Red Bull after Sainz had collected him.
What they were doing was going around a heavily wheel-spinning Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
And 4 into 2 or 3 you can get down there, but 4 definitely won't work.
So look, the marshal still on the track as they got going. Yellow flag being waved. That was very, very near to something very nasty indeed. Confirmation of that black and orange flag.
Okay, Max, so Sainz has been given a black and orange flag, so expect him to come in because he's got damage on his car.
Can he get past now the Manor down the straight and limit the damage, or is he going to end up stuck behind the Manor for a really frustrating moment? He had 5 on-track passes last year to Verstappen here. Well, there's one for him for today. Here we see Max Verstappen going into turn 1. Verstappen ahead of Pascal Wehrlein. Another on-track pass for the man who seems to find it quite acceptable and okay to do so around here, and his dad, I'm sure, very pleased with him.
So once again then, Verstappen tucked up behind Kvyat's Toro Rosso.
Yeah, and isn't that a battle we've kind of waited to see for a while? But come on, Danny Kvyat, what's gone on there? Oh, very nearly getting a puncture and collecting a little bit of the front wing of the Red Bull. Can Danny Kvyat fight off Max Verstappen for much longer? He's pushing him right to the outside. Did he touch the wall there, Max Verstappen? Kvyat is not going to want to give an inch here for obvious reasons. Couldn't fend him off in terms of keeping his seat at Red Bull earlier in the season. This is where the Russian will now dearly love to prove, at least for another half a lap, that he's still got enough, and Max Verstappen should have been kept waiting.
Yeah, this is personal.
Look how Verstappen's going for it here. He's going to try around the outside into turn 7. Kvyat on the inside, pushes Verstappen wide and over the curb. Kvyat manages to stay ahead, and under braking, Verstappen just had to concede that there was no chance he was going to get past, and once again...
Come on, man.
Well, Verstappen not liking what's going on here. He's almost shoving, isn't he, Toro Rosso forward. But it has to be said, and I'll say it, Martin, you can give the expert opinion here. You're quite happy to dish it out when you're defending Max Verstappen. What's wrong with someone else being a bit aggressive?
He's fighting for his place, fighting for his career.
Here he goes again, Martin. This time he's going to have a little go under braking. Kvyat's got the inside line once more. Verstappen's going to be frustrated again. He's leaving it as late as is humanly possible, Max Verstappen, to try and get past. And Danny Kvyat, maybe for the first time since he got the phone call to say, by the way, you're going back to Toro Rosso, might actually have half a smile. Yeah. As the sparks fly from underneath the Red Bull once again, and Max Verstappen, he's putting in a few overtakes today, but they're not the people he really wanted to be overtaking. Verstappen goes one way, Perez goes to defend him, Gutierrez has to watch out into turn 1, and into turn 7, I should say. It just looked to me there that Perez didn't get the best exit from turn 7. And Verstappen has managed to get past Sergio Perez. So not once but twice the traction wasn't quite there for Perez, with Verstappen on much fresher tyres. And the Dutchman goes up in a 10th place and now goes after Esteban Gutierrez. Now Verstappen into turn 1 on Magnussen. Renault engines up against Renault engines. Red Bull win the battle, I think, with a bit of ease there. So 4.5 seconds the gap between Rosberg and Ricciardo, pretty much running their own races. Verstappen scraping the plank and sending out the sparks. Max Verstappen's back for a bit of Russian overtaking action once again.
Russian roulette it was last time.
Well, Perez has just been overtaken by Verstappen. That's why the Dutchman is on the screen, on the scene. And this is going to be interesting. Look how much pace he's got. He's going to go down the inside of the right hand at turn 20. That was a easy take for him in the end.
Decisive is the word you're looking for.
We see what happened here. Sergio Perez And Danny Kvyat obviously struggling on his tyres. Oh, and they touched Verstappen and Perez going through the right-hander. Kvyat had gone off the track. Perez had been slowed down as a result of that. Oh, blimey, this second time tonight, Martin, that a car dashing in front of another at a strange angle has narrowly avoided them.
Kvyat made that move stick by being off the road.
And then Verstappen goes down the inside.
Yeah, he just keeps inventing bits of tarmac that have yet to see a Formula One car as an overtaking place.
We're watching Fernando Alonso, not bad at hanging on to a place in Formula One. He's had to defend many a battle in his life. Now he's got Max Verstappen up against him, and he's looking to his right. So Verstappen goes to the left, and Verstappen quite easily into turn 7 is ahead of the McLaren driver. Can Alonso now fight back? Tries to force the issue going in to turn 8, and they disappear off now down towards the next long straight. Can Alonso pick up a slipstream maybe? And by the time they get to turn 10, is he going to be anywhere near? No, he's not. Verstappen is away and off into the distance, to the delight of the Dutch fans.
Yeah, once again, Max. I think, I'm pretty sure Fernando was looking in his right-hand mirror there. So Max was already moving on to his next victim, which is a long way up the road, unfortunately, for him, Sebastian Vettel.
It's lights out, and away we go. This time Hamilton does get away well, and also Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel side by side. Rosberg tries to get the slipstream. As into turn 1 we go. Down the inside goes Sebastian Vettel on Max Verstappen. Hamilton leads, and the Ferrari and the Red Bull collide, and Verstappen has to go round the outside, and then it looks like Nico Rosberg has problems as well as at the back. Sebastian Vettel looks to be out of this race, and Sebastian Vettel into turn 1. I think he's had a coming together there with Nico Rosberg, the 4-time winner, out of this race.
Really, Sebastian is crazy. Yeah, agreed.
Well, Verstappen himself has gone down the inside at Spa, remember, and got an awful lot of criticism from Ferrari that day. This day, it's roles reversed.
I mean, he smashed into Rosberg like an idiot.
And now has come in for a pit stop behind the virtual safety car. Gets out.
Keep an eye on my left front. I drove over some debris.
Okay.
So,
get the delta positive first. Get the delta positive.
Yeah, I'm getting the positive.
Okay, Max, so ahead, Raikkonen 3 seconds. He's lapping in the low 41s, and he's yet to pit. So ideally we catch and pass as quickly as possible, mate.
Max Verstappen and Kimi Raikkonen. There's a cocktail for you.
Got DRS wide open now as Max Verstappen. He's closing on Kimi Raikkonen. He's closing on Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen can't defend, or can he? Into turn 15 they go. He leaves a gap down the inside and then actually bails out and goes into the pits as well. Oh, Kimi, good slipstream down to turn 4. Forces Verstappen to go round the outside, but now he switches and gets really good traction coming out of turn 4 as Max Verstappen, and as they rise over the crest, it's wheel to wheel. Verstappen on the outside, Ricciardo trying to hang on in there. Who's going to win this battle between the two Red Bulls? No team orders here. Ricciardo with a nose ahead, going into the next right-hander, stays ahead of Max Verstappen. Brilliant racing.
I am number 1 in this team. That's the statement there. They're handing it on a plate to Mercedes, though.
Let's see if Verstappen can get the job done himself. DRS wide open. Forces him round the outside, does Ricciardo once again. And now he's going to try down the inside. No room there for Verstappen. Inches between the two Red Bull cars here. Absolutely brilliant racing, but as you said, Martin Brundle, is this allowing Lewis Hamilton the chance to move ahead and extend his advantage even further and actually be free from any danger of the two Red Bulls?
That'll give him a pit stop if he keeps going at the rate he is, and these two keep squabbling. But Ricciardo doesn't care about Verstappen. He's still sore from Barcelona. He's sore from being denied a victory in Monaco.
It's Lewis Hamilton. There's a fire at the back of that Mercedes car. His engine has blown, and his chances of winning the Malaysia Grand Prix with it.
Oh, no!
So this is compromising Max Verstappen very badly. So Ricciardo gets the new soft tyres. He goes. Verstappen has lost about 5 seconds there, and now it's slow getting the rear tyres off. But then there's fresh tyres on. So this is just a head-to-head battle. Nothing lost. It's going to be completely fists out between Verstappen and Ricciardo on equal tyres to the end of the race.
Daniel admits that he had to step up his game when young Verstappen turned up in the team. but he's actually outscored him in points since he arrived.
Hasn't won Daniel Ricciardo in Formula One since Belgium in 2014. Daniel Ricciardo sees the checkered flag and the win that he's been waiting for over 2 years now. Ricciardo wins the Malaysia Grand Prix. Max Verstappen comes home second to give Red Bull a 1-2 here. Lights out and away we go. Good start there from Nico Hülkenberg and from Daniel Ricciardo. Hamilton's had a really bad start. Rosberg leads Verstappen, then leads Sergio Perez, then Ricciardo, and then Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Räikkönen on the inside. Dreadful start for Lewis Hamilton then. He's lost about 6 places at the start as Rosberg heads into the S's and away into the lead. This was Verstappen who made a decent getaway, got into the slipstream of Nico Rosberg. Rosberg doing absolutely everything he needed to do.
Yeah, I started to struggle a bit more with Christian Olgrim. Okay, I really start to struggle also with the left rear.
Okay, copy, Max.
Verstappen wants to come in.
Yeah, just looking at what Red Bull are doing. Yes, they are reacting. Okay, Red Bull coming out into the pits. And it's a little bit early for Kimi Räikkönen, so he can go to the end on the hard tyres, and it looks like Red Bull are going to react with the hard tyres for Max Verstappen.
Yep.
Just wasn't working out with him, but I'm interested to see what they do with Daniel Ricciardo. See, nice stop again, boys. Yeah, it's interested to see what they do with Ricciardo, because 2.3 seconds, wow. If they can, they would rather like to go to lap 35 and use the soft tyre again. Maybe they'll choose to do that with Ricciardo.
Well, Ricciardo is staying out. You can see him there as Verstappen rejoins the race. He's got Ricciardo behind him. Malaysia, of course, his teammate out, so...
Tyre temps are looking a little bit cold actually now, Max, having lost a bit of pace through the blue flag, so start to pick up your pace a bit. That will improve your grip.
And he is currently up into third, and he is still gaining on Max Verstappen in second. The gap 5.5 seconds between Rosberg and Hamilton, dare say, that's being held up behind the Red Bull is costing the defending champion any chance of attacking his teammate, the current championship leader, if ever there was one. Mercedes on their way to a victory, their 15th of the season it would be, one short of their single season record. And is Hamilton that little bit closer once again through the chicane? Can he get a better exit? And there goes Verstappen off into the distance once more. But I just think Hamilton's a little bit closer this time around. Not much, but just a little bit. Down the main straight we go then. He's gaining, but there's no big braking zone. Into turn one, he's going to have to stay behind the Red Bull for that little bit longer.
Hamilton's best chance, I think, then is through traffic, or if Verstappen makes a mistake. I think Verstappen's got him covered down the pit straight.
Well, there is traffic ahead. You can see it. Even on a murky old day in Suzuka, you could see that. It's Jolyon Palmer in the Renault.
Both on hard tyres. Hamilton's 5 laps younger.
Oh, that could have been really messy for Palmer. See how these blue flags destroy everybody's race. Into the hairpin we go. Verstappen started third in this race. Third time this year Max Verstappen has started third. On both previous occasions he's come home to finish second. That's where he is at the moment.
Lewis trying to find a different line through the hairpin, trying to add a bit of purchase, bit of traction out of the corner. It looked like it worked quite well to me. This is Spoon. He's in the dirty air, but that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good exit. So what can he do with that? Can he translate that through 130R? Yes, he's much closer. This is going to be up the inside of the chicane. Is he close enough?
You reckon he's going to go late in the braking? He's going to go late. Verstappen moves late now. Hamilton goes around the outside, has to go straight on. Now, he'll give that place back and he'll rejoin the racetrack. Once again there, Verstappen, under braking, has moved late to defend. He's only moved once, but he's moved late to defend.
I think it was all right personally, but I'll have a view. But this was game on from the hairpin.
He waited for Hamilton to commit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And then he closed the door.
Max moved under braking.
You could argue, Martin, that he did move under braking there.
Yeah.
Rosberg comes home to win the Japanese Grand Prix and once again extend his championship lead. 4 races to go. Can he be caught now? Max Verstappen comes home to finish second. Third time this year he started third on the grid. Third time he's come home as a runner-up. And it's lights out and away we go. Hamilton gets away well, Rosberg gets away well, does Ricciardo as well, and Kimi Räikkönen's challenging Verstappen as down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo on Nico Rosberg. Hamilton leads and it looks like Ricciardo has just got ahead there as two cars go wide. It's a Toro Rosso and it's one of the McLarens, but leading them down the hill and on towards the S's, it's Lewis Hamilton and he's in the lead from the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo, Nico Rosberg, then comes Kimi Räikkönen who made a super start, then comes Max Verstappen, as there goes Jenson Button on Kvyat, and look in there, Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel scrapping away down into the hairpin at turn 12.
That's going to put a smile on the face of the Williams team, isn't it, in their big battle with Force India, both of them having problems on the first lap.
And Valtteri Bottas and Felipe Massa getting involved there with Verstappen and with Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton leads, we're on board now with Sebastian Vettel. He's trying to go round the outside of the triple apex right-hander, he can't. He's dropped down to 11th place already as going wide there, Verstappen through the penultimate corner and leading at the end of the first lap, Lewis Hamilton for Mercedes.
Coming up the inside. Turned right and hit the Ferrari and then came back into the Williams.
Just the back end stepped out on the Force India. So Bottas still going and last, and Hülkenberg out of the race. That's how it looked for Max Verstappen in 10th place behind Jenson Button. There he is. So I wonder, telling Nico Rosberg push hard. Was down the inside goes Max Verstappen. Jenson Button left him enough room there. Gave him that car's width and a bit of respect as well. One's on the soft tyre, one's on the medium tyre. And there is Max Verstappen down the inside on Kimi Räikkönen. Good move under braking, but Räikkönen might fight this one back again. Now let's see the defensive qualities of Max Verstappen as round the next right-hander, Räikkönen looking to find a way past. Is there room down the inside? No, Räikkönen's going round the long way. Probably thinks he's got half a chance here, but off goes Verstappen once again.
Let's just make sure that we can complete the stint we need, okay, mate?
I'm not here to finish fourth.
Not here to finish fourth. Someone turned that into a t-shirt. I know, they weren't ready for it. They weren't ready for it.
It's a complete surprise. It's a total surprise. The mechanics weren't ready at all. Verstappen even ran over the little. Oh, there's something wrong with the car. No, he was just revving the engine. It sounded like there was an engine problem. What on earth has happened here? It's destroyed Verstappen's race at the moment, and that was very strange. A complete breakdown in communication.
Not the first time we've seen that with Red Bull this year, is it?
No.
What happened, Max?
I thought you boxed me, sorry.
Driver error.
Not good at all. Has he lost power?
I have an engine failure, I think, or something.
I've been inclined to switch that off. Sounds more like a transmission, doesn't it? But that's a few of those.
Oh dear, what's happened? She thinks. Quite.
There's something hitting the engine. The faster I drive, the harder it hits.
Stop, and now we've got a virtual safety car. So imagine you're playing Scalextrics, everyone's on a different track, and then you put all the cars on the same track and effectively neutralize the race so that mechanics, the marshals, I should say, can clear this car. It's lights out and away. Good start by Rosberg. Hamilton gets bogged down slightly. Verstappen is right on his tail though. Hamilton is leading from Rosberg and then comes Verstappen. Another great start from Fernando Alonso as down towards the first corner we come. Hülkenberg is alongside Verstappen. Rosberg slips in beside Hamilton. Hamilton locks up but still makes the corner. No, he doesn't. Verstappen and Rosberg almost touching, and Rosberg has to go wide as well, but they get through it unscathed. In fourth place comes Nico Hülkenberg, then Daniel Ricciardo, and out of the back Esteban Ocon and Marcus Ericsson come together, and they're both out of the race, and it looks like Fernando Alonso in the McLaren's had a wobbly moment there on the grass, but he's managed to keep going.
Right across the grass. Will there be grass in his radiated ducts? They have got shields in there. And look, Lewis unchallenged really here. He's unchallenged, but he's gone in too deep. He overestimated the retardation he was going to have, and there, well, for me, Rosberg ended up back in front of the Red Bull because he went across the grass.
Yeah, should he have
put the car to the end, damaged the under tray. And it was Hülkenberg who got the best start, but thought better Yeah, so Rosberg and Verstappen under investigation. I think Rosberg will be told to give that place back.
Yeah, we could maybe get a really good look at this now from on board Hulkenberg.
Oh, he gave him a shove. He gave him a shove.
So was Verstappen too aggressive?
You can see he gains a bit on Rosberg. Rosberg goes out of shot. But just watch as we go down here. Hamilton pulls across and helps out his teammate. So Rosberg then picks up the slipstream, and Verstappen's the one that's a bit stuck. I think Verstappen would have been much braver had that not happened. Remember, Hulkenberg we saw was a little bit out. Verstappen just makes slight contact with Rosberg, very minor. I don't think it was enough to serve a penalty.
What do we do now? I mean, I'm stuck.
We were expecting your call, young man.
It's a tough call to make, and who does make that call on the Red Bull pit wall? Is that Christian Horner's to make?
I thought so.
And there, Ricciardo has let Verstappen past.
Yeah, I think that was the call we were seeing on the pit wall there.
Of Max Verstappen is actually getting him ever closer to Nico Rosberg. If he keeps going on like this, Martin, he will be within DRS range of the Mercedes very, very shortly. Verstappen came in an awful lot later. He's got 12 laps, fresher tyres. He's got Nico Rosberg in his sights, and he's got pace down the main straight with DRS as well. And he's gaining, as you can see, on Nico Rosberg. Blue flags being waved for the back markers in front. Rosberg locks up, though, and has to go a little wide there. And that's going to give Verstappen a real incentive to come out of turn 3 and down towards the next corner. Great acceleration from the Mercedes. Can Verstappen hang on here and be in a position to challenge as they come to the next left-hander? Verstappen goes down the inside, loses control, goes wide and off the track. He gave it a go, but he couldn't quite make it stick. He comes onto the track and Carlos Sainz gets held up, and Jenson Button says thank you very much. I'll take a place there as well. But again, from on board Verstappen, and what happened?
Pretty dirty up the inside there. That's uncharted territory.
For Gutierrez, and the Red Bull running right over it.
I hit some debris with my floor.
I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, gap now 3.5. Vettel last lap.
Yeah, I see him coming.
Okay, mate.
GP, his race engineer, giving him the times, and Verstappen's obviously looking in his mirrors, and he can see the red of Ferrari right there, and that's how Sebastian Vettel has made up an awful lot of time in the last 4 laps. And that is Sebastian Vettel, and that is a big lock-up from Max Verstappen, and he goes wide, and Sebastian Vettel, as Verstappen goes onto the grass, might be able to come and take the remaining podium place here. Verstappen rejoins the track, still ahead of the Ferrari. Should he give that place back or not? He outbraked himself. He's now looking to defend from Sebastian Vettel. This time, no lock-up on the brakes. Verstappen in 3rd place, Vettel in 4th.
He has to let me go. He has to let me go.
Okay, copy, stay calm.
And Arriva Benny.
For sake. He's a... That's what he is.
And now he's not got to give the place back. If Ricciardo gets past the Ferrari, Verstappen's got to let 2 cars through.
Yeah, or they give him a time penalty, and that might just work out nicely for Red Bull anyway. Look at that. 3rd, 4th, 5th, going through turns 2 and 3, almost in single file.
Am I the only one? Or are you not seeing what I'm seeing? He's just backing me off into Ricciardo.
And he's not just backing him off. Ricciardo's having a go down the inside, and somehow Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo don't come together. Ricciardo giving it absolutely everything in his bid to get past Sebastian Vettel here. Whilst Vettel complains on the radio, Ricciardo is trying to pick up the scraps, and Verstappen still in 3rd place. What a dramatic end this is. He's got a flat spot, I think, here on his front left, Martin. Oh, they did touch.
That was a big old move in the braking zone, and they left him just enough space. I think he was so busy complaining on the radio, although they're not exactly synchronised. Brilliant driving from both of them, not for one to end up possibly upside down, frankly. In that
Charlie said, Charlie said...
Yeah, you know what? Here's the message for Charlie. Off, honestly, off.
Sebastian Vettel finishes 4th for the 3rd consecutive race, and look how close he's then got to Max Verstappen, who finishes in 3rd. We'll earn him a disrepute charge as well. That message to Charlie Whiting, the race director. I'm not suggesting he's going to get that. Verstappen celebrating a podium, but then there's Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah. What's your problem?
Yeah.
I think it's that message.
I mean, these are simmering tensions that have been boiling throughout the season.
Yeah, might be that sunny.
Well, he used to wave a finger when he was winning, Sebastian Vettel. Now down the back straight goes Nico Rosberg, then Kimi Räikkönen. Max Verstappen's very close to Räikkönen. He might have a go here into turn one. Verstappen on the inside of Räikkönen, catches the fin napping and moves up into third place. Great move from the Red Bull driver. Then comes Vettel and Ricciardo and Hülkenberg.
That's what I was talking about. He takes a tight early line in and he's just got a feel on the brake pedal, and he came from so far back. The confidence that Max Verstappen has in these conditions.
Right, Verstappen's right behind Ricciardo. Perez is right behind Hülkenberg as well. Hamilton's got a good start again. As for the second time in this race, he leads the field away as the safety car peels in. Hamilton then from Rosberg, accelerating up towards the main straight they go. Behind them, under pressure, is the Red Bull, and it's Kimi Räikkönen into the wall, and he almost collects the Red Bull, who does actually hit the front wing. That is a major incident for Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah, he nearly dropped.
I almost lost it there on the straight, and I was not pushing.
And Perez has got a very good restart, and there goes Lewis Hamilton then up towards the start-finish line. Rooster tail spraying out from behind that Mercedes. Verstappen is close to Rosberg. Hamilton towards the center S as he goes. Under braking, Verstappen is late on Rosberg but can't quite close up. Rosberg keeps that second place. Behind them comes Sergio Perez, and then Carlos Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo. And oh, there's a very wide turn there by Felipe Nasser, almost making contact with Esteban Ocon. And now down the Retroposta we go. The spray behind us. Now see Max Verstappen overtaking Nico Rosberg.
Everywhere else, okay, you're going there, I'll just go somewhere else then and see how it is out there. Absolutely brilliant. He's been rehearsing that, we've been watching him, and right around the outside of turn 3, while his rival is nursing the throttle pedal, boom, P2.
Get in there, Maxie.
And get in there he did. And what does that then do for the championship? This is Max Verstappen. Oh, Max Verstappen! Can he keep it out of the barriers? Just. How has he managed to keep that away from the Armco? It might still be a very costly move for him, because there is Nico Rosberg into the center S as we go. Verstappen defending, Rosberg on the outside. Crowd absolutely loving that. They're all up and out of their seats in the main grandstand. But now through the curve of the Sol we go, and Max Verstappen on the right-hand side. Now we'll see Nico Rosberg under pressure, trying to close up on him, looking in his mirrors to see where he is, just holding on Verstappen to that second place. How on earth did he do that?
Save of the century.
This is a replay.
He loves going right round the outside where you get all the dirt and rubbish. He thinks he's got more grip. Yeah.
Okay, well held, Max, well held.
Yeah, heartbeat went a bit higher there.
Well, would it go from 96 to 97 or something? Beats per minute. Yeah.
Wow. It was a good save right at the end not to hit the barriers, because if he'd have kept on there, he let the brakes off just at the right time to keep it out of the barriers.
Oh, mate, it's like a boat in the last sector. I can't do anything.
Do you want to fit a full wet, Max?
We are waiting for a crash to happen like this.
Okay, understood.
Is he pitting? He's pitting.
He is. So yeah. Red Bull, in effect, might have thrown away the points here, and that's now a massive benefit for Nico Rosberg, because the man that was his biggest challenger today, well, his teammate Lewis Hamilton, who's still leading the race, but Verstappen, Ted, who's now going to get relegated.
Verstappen's been saying on the radio that it's all about the last sector. He makes up nice amounts of time in the middle sector.
Hamilton will once again start, safety car restart, out in the lead. He's led this race from start to finish. His teammate Nico Rosberg is now behind him in second place. Max Verstappen is way back down the road again.
On the radio, they've changed tyres on the numerous red flags. I bet they'll be on the radio as we've got to move that.
We have Max Verstappen going past Valtteri Bottas.
Verstappen just drove around Bottas outside of turn 3. Verstappen is the next guy behind you.
His teammate is right behind him now, look.
He's swarming all over him. Max Verstappen. He's just getting the feeling, doesn't care who it is. They're there to be passed. And they have been passed. He's done it. He's gone around the outside at Magulio there. has Max Verstappen. Super little move, he's finding grip when no one else is, but down the inside, Ricciardo's going to try and fight him back again. Up the hill, they blast now towards the start-finish line. Verstappen stays ahead, and he's got Danny Kvyat in his sights as well.
And this then is Verstappen on Kvyat. Job done.
Job done, and Verstappen absolutely flying. He's up into 9th now. Esteban Ocon is the next on the road, and you wonder how long he can keep that.
Sauber's day might rain on their parade.
Rained everywhere else. As round the outside at Pico de Pato goes Max Verstappen, finding grip round the outside again, and away he goes past Esteban Ocon. And now look, here goes Max Verstappen once again. Nasser, whether he's caught unawares or not, probably didn't see him until the last moment. Such was the spray coming from behind that Sauber, and Max Verstappen, who was out of the points at the start of this safety car restart, is now up into 7th place. And this is how it looked on board, and there was just about enough room.
Yeah, Nasser gave him a little squeeze there.
Well done, mate. The next one is Hulkenberg.
I tell you what, Verstappen has passed Nico Hulkenberg. Not just catching him, but he has now got past him. Had to save once again that Red Bull. This is how he did it. He's living with the conditions, skating over the puddles.
He could finish 4th yet. He might even be on the podium yet.
So Verstappen has given an awful lot of excitement. Round the outside he goes again, and do you know what? He's got the jump here on the Ferrari, hasn't he? Which way is he going to go? Switches out to the right-hand side. Sebastian Vettel defends. Can Verstappen make the move stick? No. Sebastian Vettel just hangs on. But he gave him a moment or two where his heart might have skipped a beat, Sebastian Vettel, and he doesn't know which way the Dutchman's coming next. Sebastian Vettel has been on those tyres for 42 laps, to be fair to him. Verstappen on those tyres for 19, but nonetheless, he's giving it a right go again, isn't he? Vettel comes to cover him off, but in doing so, he allows Verstappen the opportunity down the inside. Do they make contact? Sebastian Vettel yields and goes onto the grass as well. Verstappen on the inside. Sebastian Vettel had to concede the place because the Dutchman certainly wasn't moving. Vettel ends up on the grass, and Verstappen goes up into 5th place. Here comes Max Verstappen. Carlos Sainz doesn't put up quite as much of a defence as Sebastian Vettel does. And look at that. He is now in 4th place. What a period of 20 laps or so this man has given us.
That a boy, go on.
He pushed me off the track. I was a little bit ahead with my nose, and he just pushed me off the track.
Did he? Or did he not?
You could argue that one all day long, but in these conditions, and it is... I think that's... I'd be amazed if they did anything about that. Wow, Verstappen's taken...
it's to the 125.3.
Yeah, so he's just taken 2 seconds out of the lead, 1.2 seconds out of the lead. Make that 2 seconds. I was right first time. He might be on the podium yet, Max Verstappen. In fact, at this pace, he will be on the podium. There he is.
Yeah.
You can tell it's him because it's going 20 miles an hour faster than anything else.
You can see he's playing around with the grip. He's looking at different areas.
Here he goes.
He's going to have a go.
He's going to have a go. He's going to have a go.
Get the traction. Does he nearly? Almost. Come on, hang in there. He's going to brave it out. Come on, lad. You can do it. He's done it. There you go.
And the crowd are cheering like crazy underneath us. It might not be Brazilian, but they've taken him to their heart because he's set this track alight, hasn't he, Christian? Wow, what a drive.
It's something special that you're witnessing today, I think. He's driven incredibly well, and you know, he deserves all the plaudits he's getting from this Brazilian crowd. Is incredible.
Thank you very much indeed, Christian Horner. Max Verstappen up into the podium places. It's Hamilton once more for the 3rd race in a row, taking the victory, but it's his teammate Nico Rosberg who continues to lead in the championship, reaches 2nd place. That'll do nicely. 12 points between the two Mercedes drivers, and it's off to Abu Dhabi we go. Max Verstappen raises a finger in celebration this time to his team on the pit wall and comes home to claim a podium place. What a thrilling drive that was from Max Verstappen today. It's lights out and away we go. Both Rosberg and Hamilton get away well, as does Kimi Räikkönen as well, and Räikkönen takes third place. Hamilton goes into the first turn in the lead from Rosberg and Räikkönen, and then comes Daniel Ricciardo. Verstappen has spun.
And that send, when a car's really on the edge of adhesion, your car's sliding at all times. As soon as you just push one end or the other, it's going to go round. It's like a pendulum.
And this is what it looked like on board with the young Dutchman.
He hit the rev limiter. It was too slow on one of the shifts there. So this is fine, but then...
Yeah, well, I didn't get much space there. Do you have any damage on the front wing?
Verstappen goes down the inside at the hairpin. Here comes Verstappen again. Into the chicane they go. He's forced Grosjean out wide. Super move though from Max Verstappen. Gets Romain Grosjean, and now he's chasing after yet another car. Here's Max Verstappen on Danny Kvyat. One started off the season as a Red Bull driver, one started off the season as a Toro Rosso driver. They swap round and they swap places there as well. To the extent that he gets another season as well, but did he leave the door open there or not? Verstappen has got past him.
Look at that, that's interesting. He just gets out in front
of Max Verstappen.
The Red Bull. That's quite important for him.
Yeah, the thing is though, he might have Max Verstappen coming back at him.
I'd be surprised if Max's tyres are good enough to... Oops, don't do that, Lewis. Got to get those a fair old way, those soft tyres.
And it'll be box this lap, Nico.
Here comes Räikkönen. He's just got out ahead of Räikkönen, but he is behind Max Verstappen. Verstappen hasn't stopped yet, of course. I tell you what, that was really tight.
So they're purposely making Verstappen slow, so you need to get past him.
Okay, Max, this is all we need at the moment. This is all we need. Excellent job. Just keep it clean.
Second Sonic to lose the rear tyre a little bit.
So it's critical now that we start passing Verstappen.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit more difficult for me at the moment.
Understood, Max.
But I think we should have walked real quick.
So, do we now see Nico Rosberg try and make a move on Max Verstappen? Many have tried to make a move on Max Verstappen. He's going for it now from a long way back. Verstappen on the outside, Rosberg on the inside. They come close, but they don't quite touch. Verstappen now under pressure again. That's a brilliant exit from Nico Rosberg. And as they swoop round that left-hand king, Rosberg puts himself up into second place. Fabulous move there from the championship leader. Verstappen's going to come back at him. The crowd rise to their feet in the grandstands. Rosberg fends off Verstappen, holds on to second place, and now can he start to put his foot down a little bit more, and that call from the pit wall of critical becomes just a little bit calmer.
Yeah, I think he saved all his battery up, and a bit of DRS came from a long way back in the braking zone as well. Verstappen saw him coming, but he was told he needed to get on with it, and get on with it he certainly did.
That was so crucial for Rosberg to get past Verstappen, because they've got a nasty feeling Verstappen is going to one-stop. He's not, of course, because he's in front of me.
He's
right now.
Well, he's coming into the pits.
Well, let's see. I mean, he could one-stop.
He could.
Wow. With a set of soft tyres.
Look, Pirelli say that the soft compound tyre, Ted, could do 39 laps in this race. That is their maximum recommended number of laps. And we've got 33 to go.
So then he became a threat for Rosberg's race position, and therefore possibly putting him into third, or who knows, fourth. And of course, if Rosberg did finish fourth, it wouldn't be his championship, would he?
So, Nico, next 3 more laps are critical. Verstappen is going to the end.
Here he goes down the inside, Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez knows he's coming. He leaves him some room, and to be honest, doesn't defend hugely against him. Whether he thought it was just worth letting him go or not, I'm not quite sure, but it wasn't the most aggressive defence from Sergio Perez, and Verstappen, after that early spin, is now up to 5th and 1 stopping to the end of the race.
Box.
Right, so Rosberg leads, Sebastian Vettel is second, and they're going to bring Rosberg in at the end of this lap. And I think they've got to, Martin, considering Verstappen's times, because that gap between Rosberg and Verstappen is coming down quite appreciatively, lap by lap by lap at the moment. Very good indeed. Hamilton goes through. There comes Nico Rosberg, and just in the background you can see Max Verstappen ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. It was critical at one stage, and it's not worked out too badly at all for the championship leader.
Question, just wondering why you're so slow. Currently unsafe to Vettel.
Sebastian Vettel finally pits. It's super soft tyres. So Palmer's kind of fighting back here and might fancy having a little go at Carlos Sainz. He has to make way and then tuck behind Carlos Sainz for Max Verstappen coming through. And this is not helping Daniel Ricciardo at all. As Verstappen gets past the two back markers, Ricciardo is going to have to slot behind them.
Lewis really needs to pick up the pace. Need high 44s. Vettel, imminent threat.
But at the end of the day, does Lewis Hamilton care whether Sebastian Vettel's an imminent threat or not?
He probably thinks, yippee.
Yeah, somebody.
Just what I needed, because all my other tactics haven't worked today so far.
Okay, Lewis, this is an instruction. We need 45-1 for the win.
Suggest you guys let us race.
And that is an instruction that's being disobeyed. Here they go down the back straight again. Hamilton leads from Nico Rosberg, and behind Max Verstappen under pressure for Sebastian Vettel. He's coming from late, Sebastian Vettel, but he's just too far behind again, and he needs to get a decent exit out of this chicane. Verstappen defending well and using the energy store from the hybrid boost wherever he can to keep that Ferrari at bay. But this time, Vettel seems so much closer as they go to the next chicane. He gets in front of Max Verstappen. Gorgeous move there from Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen, well earning the round of applause from the Ferrari garage. Sebastian Vettel is up into third place and now will get after Nico Rosberg.
Welcome back, the old Sebastian Vettel. Stunning driving. Here we go, look at Hamilton holding up his teammate.
It's like the brakes have jammed on his car.
Lewis, this is Paddy. We need you to pick up the pace to win this race. That's an instruction. But I'm actually in the lead right now. I'm quite comfortable.
That's a no then.
I think he's ignoring every instruction. They're all rising to acclaim Nico Rosberg because the crowd here know we're on the final lap, and he's probably survived the final attack from Sebastian Vettel as well.
Not over the line yet.
This 31-year-old driver from Wiesbaden in Germany, the man who's led the title for 16 out of the 20 rounds this season. It's come down to the wire. His teammate hasn't played the team game, but he's surviving with Sebastian Vettel pressurising him all the way. But for Nico Rosberg, 34 years after his father Keke became world champion, is about to see the checkered flag and the podium finish that he needed. Lewis Hamilton wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg is second. He takes the championship 34 years after his father. It's like father, it's like son for the Rosbergs.